Oh, I know how. All right,
Thank
you
you.
got it?
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kimberly.
All right. Thank you, Kimberly, for the reminder. Um, all right. So my name is Dan Raposo. I'm the team leader for Keller Williams Realty, located kind of northern Fairfield County. Um, and we have offices in Ridgefield, Danbury, and opening right now in Newtown, Connecticut as well.
And I'm Steve Scott. I'm the team leader of the Stamford office down covering lower Fairfield County. And we have the Stamford office, and we're opening an office in Westport.
Awesome. So today we're
Oh,
really going to start, and we have Carlos Martinez, who's not here with us
right.
this evening. He's the assistant team leader in Stanford, but as well. But today we really want to kind of run through the what it takes to become a real estate agent, get your real estate license, and then some strategies that you can use to be successful in that as well. All right. Okay. I'm going to all right, do that. All right, so we're just gonna mute everybody for now, and then if you have any questions or anything as we go through the presentation, obviously feel free to unmute yourself. All right. So the first question that I always ask people when they're talking about getting into real estate is, well, why real estate? And this is a big deal for me because I graduated college and got my real estate license pretty much straight out of school, started selling real estate, and I honestly feel like it's one of the most powerful opportunities that from a business standpoint that people have in this industry. You're gonna kind of see tonight, but for a pretty low cost and low barrier to entry, like you can get started in this business and really started kind of growing your own business and building your own business. You'll see it's going to cost about $2,000 for you to get licensed and kind of get your business and get yourself kind of set up, which isn't a terrible amount of money if you think about it. Like when you think about the fact that you're really starting a fresh business. And as far as like the ability to actually do it, it requires a 60-hour class and passing a test. So you have a relatively low cost and low barrier to entry to start a business that really has unlimited potential, income potential. There are people in this industry right now. One in particular who comes to mind, Ben Kinney, who operates one of the largest real estate teams in the country. He was a cable salesperson and installer, and I think he's been an agent now for 17 years, and he operates the largest real estate team in the country. And he owns real estate, and his team is actually international. He now has like a team out in England as well, in London, and and he operates one of the largest real estate teams in the country and owns multiple offices and brokerages, and so it really is unlimited income potential. Being that you're running your own business, you also get to choose like how many, which 80 hours a week you want to work, right? While you're not necessarily stuck to a 9 to 5 desk job, you do have the ability to kind of set your own schedule, but you have to remember that you are starting a business. So, it's going to take work. So I like to say, you can have an extremely flexible schedule. You can pick whatever 80 hours you want to work every week. The other side of it is if you don't want to work that hard, which I never recommend to anybody, is really like, figure out how many hours you're able to work, how many hours you're willing to put into the business, and then put a plan in place that's going to help you accomplish your goals based on that. Right. And then, real estate is the largest area of wealth for the average American. People don't talk about that enough, right? The majority of the average Americans, or the majority of wealth in this country is held in single family residences that people own, their homes, right? The average net worth of a renter is something like $5,500, $5,000, whereas the average net worth of homeowners in this country is $250,000. I mean, that's a massive, massive difference. And as a real estate agent, you have the ability to really make a huge impact on people's lives through the power of home ownership and really kind of change lives. So there's a lot to offer. This business has a lot to offer and a lot of opportunity there. So Steve, why don't you tell us a little bit about how people can get started?
Yeah. Did everybody just hear the last few words Dan spoke? Because you did? Okay. Oh, wow, I didn't. It was you just like disappeared for a while. That's okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Are you unstable, Steve Scott?
No, it's saying I'm stable. I don't know. I hope not. I like being stable.
Just because Zoom's saying you're stable doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Don't tell anybody. Next slide, Dan.
You should see it, right? How do you get started?
No, I don't. Nope.
Are you guys seeing it? No?
I see some yes, some no.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, the cost and all that.
How do I get started in real estate?
I
Yep.
do not.
Get licensed.
Boy, this is going to get interesting tonight.
Go ahead, Dan. You know what? I'll probably log off.
All right, this is going to become the Dan Raposo show, evidently.
Yeah. I'm going to get off and get back on.
All right. Make sure that, okay, you did make me the host, so yeah, you can do that. All right, so
Terrible.
getting your license, getting started in this business is, like I said, it's a pretty low barrier to entry. The first thing that you need to do is you need to take the classes, right? So every state in this area, whether you're looking at New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, wherever, they all require that you take some form of education before you can sit for the test and get licensed. So in Connecticut, it's a 60-hour class. In New York, it's 75 hours. Up until recently, you could not do the classes in Connecticut online. Now you can. The difference is that the New York class online is more like a traditional online class where you can kind of go at your own pace. In Connecticut, there are still live classes taught by a live instructor, but they're done via Zoom. All right. So you do have some of that flexibility now. So in Connecticut, it's a 60-hour class. In New York, it's a 75-hour class. You have to do it through an approved school. So not every school teaches the classes online. Every school charges like a little bit different prices, and they operate a little bit differently. We recommend Real Estate University. They're based out of Norwalk, and we recommend them for kind of two reasons. The first is that they do give a discount for people who say that they were sent by us. They don't offer that to any other brokerage. But they do offer referrals from us a discount, but also because they do it online, so you can do them online from anywhere. And then the third reason is that they actually they have what's called a rolling schedule, so you can start anytime. You don't have to wait for the next class to kick off, and they don't take breaks. So NF Carr is another one in Bethel. There's another school in Stamford. Steve, what's the school in Stamford? You're muted, Steve. You got to unmute yourself. Poor Steve.
I'm totally out of my element here
Poor
tonight.
Steve tonight. Steve's
Totally. Nothing is working. It's a real estate and appraisal school in Stamford.
Okay. So, those are the three reasons why we kind of recommend Real Estate University. And the instructors there are just great. And I'm not saying that because I'm one of them occasionally. Because I'm okay, but the other instructors there are pretty good too. All right, once you pass your school, your test, your class, you then get to sign up for the state exam. You're going to sit for the state exam. You have to get at least a 70% on it, and then once you pass the exam, you then get to hire a brokerage to be your partner. So every licensee has to be affiliated with a brokerage when they first get licensed. So who you choose is really important. We're going to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
All right.
And I would, on that note, I would suggest as you're going through your class, as you approach near the end of the class, schedule, start to reach out and set up interviews with brokers. Don't
Absolutely.
wait until you're all done and then you're all of a sudden scrambling to figure out where you want to go. So leave time to interview with people.
Absolutely. All right, Steve, are you seeing the slides now?
Yes, sir. So far.
All right. So why don't you go through the costs of what it takes to
Yeah.
get started?
Yep. So like Dan said, he kind of stole some of the thunder up front when he was talking anyway, but it costs about $2,000 all in, really low barrier of entry to get into real estate. When you think about what's required to become an engineer, what's required to become a doctor, what's required to become a lawyer, right? That could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. To become a real estate agent, it's about $2,000 your first year. So the course itself is between $300 and $500 depending on the school, but within that range.
Uh-oh. I think we just lost Steve again. Poor Steve is having issues today. Steve, you there, buddy?
Access to everything for sale, so you can find everything you need for your buyers. So the MLS is about $485 a year. It's prorated based on when you join, and you make, right now you're making payments every 6 months to add up to that $485 for a year. And then there's annual board dues. You have to join, not our rules, not any individual broker's rules, but you must join to be a realtor and use the logo realtor. You have to join a board of realtors, local board of realtors. Now, between Dan's office and the Stamford office, where I am, we belong to just about every board. Not every board in Connecticut, but every board in Fairfield County and even into New Haven County. So you could choose whichever board you want. Some of them cost a little bit more than others. And basically, when you pay those dues cover your National Association of Realtors dues, your local dues, and what am I missing, Dan? Connecticut, right? Your Connecticut Association of Realtors dues. And again, the most expensive one is about $700 a year. And they offer you extended continuing education classes and periodic classes. Yeah, bring in guest speakers and things throughout the year, and sometimes quarterly meetings. So other costs to consider: your brokerage fees within the individual broker. We're all different. We all have different fees. You need to make sure you understand what that is when you're having your interviews with those brokers. You're going to have marketing and business expenses. Again, if you ask me, I think you should keep that down to a minimum when you're starting, because you don't have to be spending a whole lot of money to get started lead generating and get your business off the ground. There's E&O insurance, errors and omissions insurance. Like anything in life, there's insurance. And this is a must-have. And the brokerages, they range in cost for that as well.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. We're pretty much done.
All right. That wasn't my way of pushing you along, I swear. I was just trying to close it in.
And other incidentals, business cards, technology, marketing, photos, things like that. Do you want a photo on your business card? Things that you'll need to know if you need a headshot. Technology, I shouldn't skip over technology because that's huge. And we're going to talk more about that.
Yeah. All right. So then the next question that you really want to ask yourself is, how can I be successful? So Steve, do you want to take this one since I stole your other one before?
That's okay, cool. So how can you be successful? And it's really quite simple. If you ask me, we see over there in the blog, fail often, fail fast, fail forward. You're going to be failing. You're going to make mistakes. That's okay. But you also want to be in a culture that fosters an environment of coaching and consulting and education and training. That is really crucial, because you're going to take these 60 hours of the course to pass your exam. And trust Dan and I when we tell you that information is something that you can always reference. You're going to put your books up on a shelf and you can always reference that information. It does not teach you how to run a real estate business. And that's what you need to then learn how to do. And that's what we think Keller Williams does a fantastic job at. So you're going to want to follow systems and models, because thousands and thousands of people have gone before you and us, and they have done things, and there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. So if you follow systems and models, excuse me, it's like following a recipe. It makes sense, and it's going to be a lot easier for you. Focus on your strengths. We're all different people, right? We all come from different backgrounds, and you're going to want to focus on what those strengths are. Sorry, excuse me.
Steve, you're killing me tonight, man. You're killing me.
I know, it's just a disaster. Sorry, I really apologize. So you focus on your strengths, and we'll talk more about that too, and identifying what they might be. Identify your one thing and execute. And Dan and I will tell you what your one thing is right now. It's lead generation. You're going to get your license and you're going to be selling houses. There's no doubt. You are going to be selling real estate, but you are really going to be in the business of lead generation, right? Dispel a myth right now. Buyers, well, right now that's kind of not true, but buyers really don't fall from the sky, and listings are not going to walk through your door. You have to be lead generating to identify where those leads might be and then cultivate that business. So your one thing is to lead generate, and there's many different ways to do that, and we can talk more about that, and we also train you on that. Hire a brokerage with excellent culture, excellent training, and excellent technology. First, culture, the environment that you work in. I don't know where you're all from, what your backgrounds are, but you work in an environment, you work in an office, there's a culture and an environment, right? And we spend too much of our time working in this short life of ours, correct? And it's important to have an environment that's a collaborative, nurturing environment and has a great culture. That is really important in real estate. And one reason why Gary Keller, founder of Keller Williams, even created this company was to create a different environment. And he did. There's a reason why Keller Williams Realty is the largest real estate company on the planet right now. And the culture is one of those main reasons. An excellent training program. Like we talked, training, coaching, consulting, all of that is crucial because you need to know how to run a real estate business. And not just when you're starting out, when you're new. I mean, here at Keller Williams, we have training all day, every day, sometimes from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, 4 or 5 classes a day. And we have agents that are brand new like yourselves, and we've got agents who have 30 years experience. Kathy Vicera, you're on this call. Want to speak up for a minute and talk about training? Kathy, I'm putting you on the spot. Or Victor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I've been doing this real estate business for about 45 years. I'm a guru when it comes to training. Brian Buffini, Zig Ziglar, people that go back 50 years and more. I would go to everything. I always did.
Yes.
And I've been in a couple different brokerages, never left because I was unhappy, only I had a better offer. Somebody offered me a better commission split or a private office, whatever. But when I discovered Keller Williams and I knew a couple of the principals there, and I really admired their high level of professionalism and accomplishment, I joined Keller Williams. That was like when we started, 17, 18 years ago.
Yeah.
And I would go to classes almost every day because they were so wonderful and so enlightening and inspiring and energizing.
Right.
So I highly recommend the training at Keller Williams. It's unsurpassed by any other business company that I've ever encountered.
Right. So with all your years experience, Kathy, there's always something new to learn, correct?
Oh, there's always something to learn. Oh yeah, that's what makes it fun. Things are new every day. New problems, new questions.
Yeah,
New.
right. Definitely.
Bye.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
So, and then excellent technology, guys. Technology is crucial right now. About three and a half years ago, Gary Keller decided to reinvent Keller Williams again. It's his third reinvention of this company to become a technology company. As you know, I mean, technology runs our world, correct? We all live on this thing, and I apologize for mine going off. That's terrible. Without technology, you're really not going to survive in this industry. And to be honest, the industry as a whole is somewhat of a dinosaur still with technology, but Keller Williams is not. We'll talk more about that, but technology is crucial. It's another thing you need to focus on and ask questions about.
Yeah, I think that another thing to bring up about technology is this industry has changed really quickly, kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And we've been talking for years about how technology's been changing the industry, but, what was it, maybe 20 years ago when the MLS came about, right? Where the online version of the MLS really kind of started, which about 20 years ago, I would say.
25, yeah.
Yeah. There were agents that looked at that and said, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Right. And those agents weren't able to last in this business for very long. They said, you know what, I'm not going to put my listings on this online thing, and sure enough, those agents didn't last very long. The same thing is happening today with the way technology is being used. There's so much technology that allows agents to communicate more, to create deeper relationships with their clients, to understand their clients at a higher level. And the agents who are choosing to utilize that technology are the ones that are going to take this industry forward. And there are agents that are going to refuse to use it because they just don't like it or they don't want to take the time to learn it, that are just going to kind of fall away. The interesting thing for all of you on this call is that you have no real experience in real estate at this point, right? Or you have no experience with real estate technology. So as you get started, everything you learn is going to be new. And that's a big opportunity for you. Then I don't think enough people put a focus on that is an opportunity, right? You have the opportunity to come into this business and learn how to do it using technology that there are a lot of agents out there that are just not going to be using. So I have a firm belief that the people who are going to be the top agents in our area in the next 5 years, 6 years, there are a lot of brand new agents that are going to be getting started right now that are going to be those top agents in the next 5 to 6 years, because a lot of the top agents that are the top agents right now are not adopting fast enough and are not adopting technology fast enough. And so there's going to be this switch. So I think that's a big opportunity for all of you to think about, when getting into this, right? Is how can you learn to do things using technology better, right? How can you do things better using technology than the way things have been done in the past? You know, it's a great opportunity for you.
Dan, I think you and I are both seeing some newer agents in both of our offices that are less than a year in the business, and their businesses are skyrocketing, and not because of what's happening right now with an influx from New York, because they're using the technology.
Exactly.
Totally.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Keller Williams now. So as we promised, we were going to talk a little bit about how you can get started and what you can do to be successful getting started in this business. And we're going to talk a little bit now about how Keller Williams can help you do that. And I think that starts with our mission, right? We are a real estate technology company. That is who we are. That is what we do. But that's not our mission. Our mission isn't to sell more houses or to build more technology to sell to more agents, right? Our mission is all about the people that we're in business with. Our mission is to create careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And that's really important to us because it goes beyond just buying and selling real estate. It's about our people, right? We want to help you all build a career. You're all here and you're all considering getting into real estate for many different reasons, right? But you're considering a career change or possibly your first career, right? And our mission is to help you build a career worth having. What will eventually happen from that, though, is if we're able to help you accomplish that, if we're able to accomplish that together, you're going to have to start building a real business, right? And so our mission then becomes to help build businesses worth owning. From building a career worth having and a business worth owning, you can have a life worth living. What does that look like? It's different for everybody, right? Everybody defines, what their ideal life or what their dream. Everybody has their own dreams, right? Our goal is to help you achieve those dreams, and live a life worth living. That might be making enough money to take your kids on a vacation to Disney World every year, right? It might mean being able to be home every night to put dinner on, to spend with your family. It might mean just having the big house and the big car, right? Whatever your dreams are, that's how you define a life worth living. And that's, again, part of our goal. Experiences worth giving. That's all about the people in your world, right? I just mentioned taking your kids to Disney World every year, right? Like that's an experience that you're able to give them now, right? It's also about the experiences you're able to give to your clients, right? What kind of experience are you able to create for the clients and the people that will choose to work with you, right? What kind of experience are you creating for them? And are you creating an experience worth giving to other people, right? And then finally, when it's all said and done, we only have so much time on this planet. What are we leaving behind, right? What impact are we making on the world? What impact are we making for our family, for our friends, for our communities, and for the world in general? Are we working and living? Are we creating a legacy worth leaving? So, anyway, so that's the Keller Williams mission. It's not about selling more real estate. It's about our people and helping our people be like live bigger lives.
And also, I think it's crucial that everybody understands, like I said before, about setting up your interviews with brokers when you're going down the path of finishing your class. Ask this question of everybody: what is the mission of this company, and where do I fit in it? I mean, it's very important to understand that and get that information from them.
Yeah, because our mission is all about our agents, right, and the people within our organization. What is the mission of the other? What is the mission of the company that you're interviewing with? And does that align with your goals and with your mission, right? All right. Our belief system. You want to talk about our Y4C2Ts?
Yeah, I love the Y4C2Ts. We've got an acronyms for everything. It's not my night. So Y4C2Ds is our belief system. And the first is win-win or no deal. And that is primary, crucial. That is everything to us. In Dan's office and my office, we have this written on our lobby walls. It is crucial. Yeah, it's life size. So win-win or no deal in everything. It's got to be a win-win on both sides of everything, guys. Integrity, do the right thing. Integrity is crucial. Customers always come first. That's a mantra of ours. A commitment in all things. You're committed to your business. You're committed to your clients. You're committed to equality. You're committed to being an ethical realtor. Commitment in all things. And we are committed to you and helping you grow the largest business you ever want. Communication. Seek first to understand. Ask questions. Always be asking questions. That goes for you with your clients, you with any situation. Creativity. We always put ideas before results. We work teamwork, which is the next one, but creativity, we put those ideas out there. We work collaboratively. Maybe I'm having a stroke tonight, Dan. I don't know. I can't speak.
Dude, don't say that. Don't say that.
More results. So that is something that overrides just about every day at Keller Williams. Teamwork. Together, everyone achieves more. It's a collaborative environment at Keller Williams in every way. And again, that's something, if you ask me, with my years of experience, it doesn't exist in a lot of other brokerages. And it kind of overrides our whole business model, which is unique. And that's why Gary Keller created this company. Trust starts with honesty. Always be honest, guys. And success results through people. Like Dan just told you, with our mission, we're all about you. We're all about the agents. We're an agent-centric company, an agent-centric model, and that we strive to have results through people, and we have nothing but, I like to say, nothing but opportunity. You come to Keller Williams to initially be an agent and grow your agent's business, but there are so many other avenues you can go down at Keller Williams. That could be a whole nother conversation we could have with you on a one-on-one, Dan and I, talking about what do you want? What's your big why? Where do you want to take this? You can become a mega team. You can become an investor. There's many different paths at Keller Williams. So that's what success is all about. Dan, you have to unmute.
Yeah, we mentioned before, like some of the things that you should look for in a brokerage. This is important, and it's not about, yes, would we love for you to join Keller Williams? Absolutely. But what it's really about is, again, making sure that you're getting all of the information you need from whatever brokerage you choose so that you can make the best decision possible. So as a new agent or as a new business owner getting into real estate, the first thing you're going to really need to focus on is the training, right? So Keller Williams has been named the #1 training company across all industries. I think it was like three times out of like the last 5 years, to the point where I think it was in 2019, Training Magazine was like, who does these rankings, essentially retired us. They said, okay, you're no longer allowed to win this award. You're in our Hall of Fame. Shush. She's very excited about our training. You're in the Hall of Fame, and you can no longer, win the awards. But so we've been the #1 training company across all industries. We do live training daily in our office, yes, but nowadays with everything going on, it's all via Zoom like this, as well as like one-on-one appointments, agent masterminds where we put a bunch of agents in a room and we have conversations around issues that they're seeing in the industry or in their businesses, and we kind of all as a group try to help them with those issues. We bring in outside vendors, people from the mortgage industry, people from the construction industry and in the inspection industry, to help our agents get more perspective on their businesses and get knowledge from from the other sides of this business. And then obviously technology training. We provide a lot of technology at Keller Williams, and we want to make sure that our agents have all the opportunity in the world to understand how to use it and how they can use it to make their businesses better. In addition to that, Keller Williams has a huge training platform online as well called KW Connect, where every single day, some of the top agents and leadership from across the country are doing live trainings. And then in addition to that, there's also a ton of pre-recorded content that's like either trainings that have happened in the past or information that our agents have kind of put up. If we have an agent who's been really successful at doing open houses, they might share their open house system and put it up on KW Connect with a video, as well as some like attachments of what they're using in the marketing that they're using. And that's all up there at KW Connect. Our belief system, teamwork, everyone achieves more, right? Together, everyone achieves more. That's not just in our office. That's the belief for like our entire company. So we have agents from around the country, from around the world, that share their ideas, share what they're doing that's leading to success. And all of our other agents can kind of tap into that to learn from those as well. And then we have some of our other trainings, like some of the top trainings in the industry. Ignite, that's a class that we have going on right now. That's kind of our foundations course, right? It's the 12-step class. It's 12 classes over 4 weeks for about 2 to 3 hours. And it's everything you need to know to start and build your real estate business, to actually start making money, right? And it's highly successful. Bold and Bold Pivot, two kind of versions of a similar training. It's a 7-week training class that delivers results. What is it? The average real estate agent who takes that class will write 7 pieces of business over the course of 7 weeks. It's pretty unbelievable, right? And then we have our kind of like larger than life events. Some of the largest real estate events in the country. Family Reunion, our annual conference. That's where, everybody from Keller Williams and from around the industry, not just at Keller Williams, right, are invited to get together for a long weekend of learning, essentially, right? So it's 20,000 people. It's the largest real estate conference in the country. 20,000 people and like over 200 breakout sessions where you can learn about, be taught by some of the top people in the industry around lead generation, building teams, marketing, how to find more sellers, how to work with more buyers, how to do open houses, like any topic you can think about like in real estate, there's a class on it. There's over 200 of them throughout 3 days of a 3-day weekend. So it's pretty incredible. And then Mega Camp, this is something that's coming up in September. Gary Keller likes to say it's not average camp, right?
Yeah, right.
It's Mega Camp. It's not strategies for how to be an average agent. He focuses only on the top people, and he says this is what the top people in our industry are doing right now, right? This is what they're doing to grow huge businesses and mega businesses and be mega agents. So he says it's not, we like to say it's not for the average agent. It's for the people who want to be mega agents. And then last and certainly not least our Masterminds series, which is held every spring. Now, here's the interesting thing. These were all events that you had to go to before, right? And before everything kind of happened over the past few months, you had to physically go to these events, which meant buying a plane ticket, getting a hotel room, a lot of expense. Now we're doing them all virtually. So Keller Williams is rolling out a brand new online platform for Mega Camp that's going to be happening in September. It's never been used before for a real estate conference or real estate training, and it's going to allow collaboration and breakout sessions and you know, networking at crazy high levels. Where's all that noise? It's kind of, it's first of its kind, which is which is going to be a lot of fun. So that's coming up in September, and they're really cheap. You don't have to go anywhere for them. You can do them from home. You can come to the office for them and learn from some of the best in the business. So that's kind of our approach to training, right? It's not just about new agent training. It's not just about, you know, mega agent training, but it's all of our training is based off of systems and models, right? Steve, you look like you were getting ready to hold up something.
Yeah. Well, I also wanted to say a little bit more about Mega Camp. So Mega Camp being online for the first time, we're expecting 50,000 in attendance. Again, like Dan said, nothing like that has ever been conducted before. And it's going to be done on this platform that allows for, Gary Keller on stage presentations, as well as breakouts. We could all break out into different training rooms, et cetera. And it's going to be exceptional. I mean, and there will be tens of thousands of KW agents on there, but there'll be agents from other companies coming as well. And I have a little bit of a surprise, and this may shock Dan too, but if everybody, again, because I had to log off and get back on, I can't see everything in the chat room, but if everybody would please give us your name and contact info in the chat room. We're going to be pulling a couple prizes from tonight, if you will. First is going to be this book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent book that Gary Keller wrote. It's the best-selling real estate book on the planet. It's basically, we talk about systems and models. We talked about a couple slides ago. They're all in here, guys. Again, this is an amazing book, and somebody will win this tonight. Also, we are going to give away one registration to Mega Camp. Mega Camp is going to be September 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's a 3-day event, and we'll be giving away one registration. I mean, you guys are not licensed yet. Most of you are not licensed yet, but it's a great opportunity to dive in, and you will be just taking notes upon notes upon notes. It'll really wow you. It's a great way to get energized and jump into your real estate course for sure. So please make sure your contact info is there for us.
Awesome. I didn't know you were doing that, Steve. That's very generous of you.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about our technology, Steve.
Dan, why don't you run with this, Dan? You do a much better job. You're much more detailed on it than I am. Go right ahead.
Yeah, you're just worried you're going to have more technology struggles tonight.
Yeah, tonight is not my night. It's nuts.
Yeah. So Keller Williams, about 4 years ago, Gary Keller, about 4 years ago, kind of saw the way the real estate industry approached technology, and then also looked at the way other industries and other companies approach technology. And he goes, you know what, we're doing this wrong. At the time, and even still today, this is the way most of our competitors operate. Real estate companies would go to a technology company who had built something cool and say, hey, can you build that for us? Can you give us we want a version of that. And so they would go to companies that built CRMs, like customer relationship managers, or they would go to companies that built out really cool marketing tools, or design tools that allow real estate agents to create cool looking marketing pieces. They would go to email marketing companies like MailChimp or Constant Contact, and say, we want to give our agents this as well. And so what they would do is they would just contract with these companies, and they'd say, we want you to build a version of your technology for us, and we're going to pay you this much money, and we're going to be signed into a 2-year deal. And then they would turn around and they would give their agents that. So the agents would say, awesome, now I have this new tool I can use to build my business. The problem is typically, as soon as you sign that contract, within a few months, whatever you bought is already out of date, right? Because technology was changing so quickly, and there were all these companies out there coming out with new systems that were, with new ideas and new ways of doing things, that by the time you actually rolled something out, and then even more so, like by the time the agents actually learned how to use it and started implementing it in their business, it was already out of date. And so now another company goes and contracts with whatever that new technology, and now your competition has some sort of technology that's better than yours is, right? So Gary saw this and he goes, when I look at other industries, when I look at companies that are taking over these other industries, when I look at Amazon and I look at Apple and I look at Netflix, none of them are out there buying technology from some random technology company, right? They're building the technology that's changing their industry. And he goes, that's what we need to do. And so he looked at how technology was being built and he says, we need to come up with a better way. And so what he realized is that real estate companies were going to these technology companies. These technology companies had a bunch of engineers and software designers and project managers. And somebody had at some point, and founders who had at some point come up with an idea for that a real estate agent would want. And then all of these engineers and software designers got involved and they built it. And so they built a CRM, or they built a marketing platform, or they built a lead generation system. And then they put it in the hands of agents, and agents says, how do I use this? Because it wasn't built by agents, it was built by technologists. And so he said, you know what, if we're going to build a system for our agents to use, we're going to get feedback from our agents, and we're going to involve them in the process. And so Keller Williams created the labs process. And essentially what we do is we take, they would take maybe 50 to 100 agents, and they would put them in a room, and they would say, what kind of technology do you need? Like, what would really change your business? And they would come up with ideas. And then they would say, okay, well, what would it look like, right? If it's an app for your phone, right? What would it look like? And they would hand them pieces of paper that would have like fake phone screens on them. And they would say, draw it. Like, we want to know what it would look like. And they would put the agents in the room, and the agents would actually design these things. And then our technologists would turn around and create it. And then they would bring the agents back and they would say, what do you think? And our agents would provide feedback. And we've created this essentially constant feedback loop between our technologists and our agents. And from that, we call that our labs process. And that's how all of our technology has been built. So over the past 4 years, Keller Williams has invested close to $1 billion in building our own technology. So that we can create a system for our agents to use, where our agents can run their entire business on one system. And our agents don't have to ever worry about that system changing, or that system or having to learn some new system, because they're going to have the main platform. What that also allowed us to do is it gives us the ability to adapt and change as the industry changes. So once we have the main platform, it's very easy to add features. So when some other company comes up with an idea that agents really like, we can then recreate it. So the first thing that we created was the Keller Cloud, and that was essentially it's a data-driven artificial intelligence. It's a way of us storing our data, storing the data from all of our agents, and having artificial intelligence making us smarter about it. So our agents can be smarter when they're working with their clients. And then we built KW Command, which is our all-in-one agent tech platform. It's not just a CRM. It's not just a customer relationship manager. It's a smart CRM. It's tied into our consumer apps and our websites. So it is actually working. Our agents are able to work hand in hand with their clients and know what they're doing and interact with their clients on a higher level and create relationships with their clients on a higher level. It incorporates campaigns, which allows our agents to do social and print marketing. It incorporates a design studio where agents can create designs. It has and that's just kind of the start. Those are just kind of like the 3 most popular tools. So the key with our technology is that A, we've built it in-house, and B, it's been built by agents. So it's super intuitive and it's easy to use. And the really nice thing is that it's always changing. It's always improving. Gary Keller likes to say, today is the worst day. Our technology is the worst it will ever be today, because it'll never be worse than it is today. It will always be better. And so it's a different approach to building technology for the real estate industry. Okay. So here's our contact information. If you have any questions, please get in touch with us. And now we're going to turn it over to a couple of our agents to talk to all of you about their experiences building their businesses. Steve, you want to take it away?
Yeah, also just going back to technology just a little bit, you did a great job, Dan. Great job. Our competitors, guys, are knocking on our door regularly, asking to buy this technology. What we've created, like Dan said, is unprecedented in the industry. And we were fortunate enough, blessed enough that we could, because of our business model, we could reach into our pockets and pull out $1 billion to do this. So many other companies can't do that. Certainly a lot of smaller companies cannot even think about it. So we've been asked an approach, and we're not selling it to anybody because we created it for you. We created it for our agents. Gary Keller had vision. I think he's a visionary, and this was the thing to do. So it's sustainable for years and years and decades to come as we continue to evolve it and change it. So it's really cool stuff. And I always say, if we want to have a one-on-one meeting with me or Dan, I always say, don't just listen to everything I'm telling you. Google everything I am telling you. Look it up. We have nothing to hide. If you Google Keller Williams, Gary Keller technology, you can see all that we're talking about and how it's really changing the industry, and it's ours. So it's a great opportunity for you to have the best technology. So that was that. So yeah, I'd like to turn it over to Noelle Corelli. Noelle is an agent in the Stamford office, and her business is skyrocketing, and I would love for her to tell her story. Dan, can you spotlight her? I don't know how to do that.
Hello.
Hey, Noelle.
How are you?
Great. Thanks for being here tonight, squeezing it in with your busy schedule between all your clients and your kids and everything. I appreciate it. So tell us a little bit about how you got started in the business and where you are today.
Yeah, so roughly around 12 years ago, I believe, 12 or 13, I always lose track. I became a realtor. I was a real estate paralegal working for lawyers, real estate attorneys, and they kept telling me I should be a realtor. So I listened and I did it. And I worked a full-time job and did this on the side for 10 years. 2 years ago, I decided to kind of revamp my business and try to take this to the next level through the help of my wonderful Keller Williams family and Jen Henry's productivity coaching. I was able to revamp my business 2 years ago and double my business in the past 2 years. Probably even more so this year, even higher numbers. So Keller Williams has been absolutely fabulous. The coaching, the technology, the support, the marketing, everything that Keller Williams gives us, it's just, you have to do it. You just have to take the time to do it and put in the work. But there's no support out there like Keller Williams.
Right. No, I appreciate that. So you've recently made a decision to leave your other job, big decision, and do this full time. And that was something you wanted to do for a while, right? And we worked together to make sure it was at the right time.
Right.
So you want to talk a little bit about that and how that's getting started?
2 years ago, September 2 years ago, I think I came into your office, Steve, and sat down and said, okay, I need a change in life. I want to make real estate my full-time career. How can I do that? And you gave me the confidence and the support to say, yes, you can do that. And here's how we're going to do that, and help me come up with a map plan to do that. And I've done it. You know, I've, like I said, I did the coaching classes. I've, done everything that you and Rick talk about in classes, and I took Ignite and I did all of those things. And here we are 2 years later. My last day of my full-time job is Friday.
Yay. No, that's great. That's wonderful. Now, not only is Noelle, leaving her full-time job, the comfort of that and doing this full-time, which she's going to be a rock star, she was starting to build a team because, Noelle knows what Noelle can do, and she's not going to sacrifice the quality of her life, of her family, to do what she wants to accomplish. And to do that, she's starting to build a team because leverage is key to any kind of success and growth, guys. And her first piece of leverage for her is what, Noelle?
Well, during all of this, I was on lockdown. I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, so I was homeschooling, working 2 jobs from home, and had clients still calling me like crazy. So I was like, okay, I have to do something. There's only one of me and none of hours in the day. So at one point in your business, you have to kind of decide what the next step looks like. And so with all of this going on, I decided to hire a showing assistant to kind of do showings for me during the coronavirus, during the lockdown period. And so that now has transformed just within 2 months to now being a buyer's agent in training for right now. And I, also use Leverage Out, which is an admin company that is with Keller Williams. And I actually hired them last week to kind of relieve some of my paperwork and compliance and that part of it. You know, you get to a point in your business where you have to realize, you know, where you're spending time and where you're wasting time. And if, you know, I'm not lead generating and I'm out there getting new leads or being able to follow up with my clients like I like to and I should be, then something has to give. So it kind of all has gone really quickly in the past few months, but all in a great way. And, you know, all the hard work has paid off. And, you know, again, for anyone out there that's thinking of being a real estate agent, whether it's a part-time or full-time, you can do it. You just got a time block. You got to, you know, time management and organization are kind of key in getting that done. But I'm, you know, the story of, you know, truly working 2 full-time jobs for the past 2 years with 2 small kids and doing it. So you can do it as well. And Keller is there to support the entire time.
Absolutely. I think it's key to know that, you know, Noelle had a plan. You always need a plan, right? You have to set goals, and she worked towards that goal, and we worked with her. You talk about an 80-20 rule, guys, like in life, right? And there's an 80-20 rule in real estate for you. You know, your 20% as a realtor, your 20% are dollar productive activities. The 80%, all of that stuff is everything else. So your dollar productive activities are lead generation, making offers, negotiating deals, closings, education and training, and money management. That's your 20%. Everything else, and you can think about what all those other things are: marketing, promotion, all details around your business. I mean, data entry, meeting the photographer, etc. So many other things. That's your 80%. You want to find the leverage to get that done so you can focus on the 20%. That's how you truly then like really skyrocket with your business. And you can do that gradually, like Noelle did. And it's all falling into place for her. So you can do this part-time and then move into it full-time if that's an issue for you guys. And there's many ways, you know, Dan can talk to you about that and I can talk to you about that. Noelle, you're awesome.
Thank you.
And guys, listen, in the chat box, I know Noelle put her contact info. Feel free to reach out to her with any questions, how she did it today, tomorrow, next week, whatever. She'll answer you and reach back out. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Noelle.
Thank you.
Dan, what else?
That's it. That's all I got. Does anybody else have any questions around getting started, around Keller Williams, around, you know, what you need to do to be successful?
I got one question.
Sure. Hey, Justin, how's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Good. Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
It's for you, Noelle. I actually want to do the same thing. Eventually transition it into full-time. Right now, I'm a property manager. So, like, I've only done rentals. I just joined Keller Williams as of today. But I wanted to know, like, because I know it's very hard to transition. Like, did you start doing rentals first? Did you do sales? Like, what made you, like, what was like your pathway sort of to kind of do that?
Honestly, I did everything. I did whatever came my way, whatever I could get. You know, really the biggest thing is, and they always say this at Keller Williams, you're sitting with people, the people that know, trust you, like you, that's where you start. I started with family, to be honest with you. A family member gave me my cousin. You know, now he's moved on to bigger and better, but I got him his first house. It was my first deal. I've done rentals, you know, and I still do rentals. I still do all of it. You just got to go out there and get it. Don't pin yourself to, I only do rentals right now because I don't know what I'm doing. You'll learn it. Keller Williams is here to support you in learning it. If you don't know what you're doing, or if you have questions, there's multitude of classes to take and support for questions. But I would say just talk to everybody that you know. Tell everybody that you're a realtor, and little by little, you'll be surprised that one rental will turn into a buyer. The buyer will turn into a seller. I have referrals that are literally 4 people referred. Like, I get one referral, they refer me, that they refer me. I'm like 3 or 4 people deep into some of my referrals. So it's just about getting out there and starting wherever. And it doesn't have to be with rentals. I mean, you can start with buying, with selling in any aspect.
Thank you.
Who else? Anybody else have any questions?
Hi, I'm Louise Maury. How are you today?
Louise.
I had my test yesterday and I passed.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Now I'm like going to set up for interviews because of course our class got stalled. We were supposed to have our test the Wednesday before they shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't really like sure when to interview. So who do I call in your office to set up to ask questions and see where if this is where I want to make home?
Yeah, you can call Dan or I directly. We'll put our contact info back up on here.
Okay.
Contact us directly, call us or text us, and we can meet up. Where do you live, Louise?
I live in New Fairfield. I work, right now I work as a nurse. I've been a nurse for 20-something years, and I'm getting a little older, and I kind of want to slow down, but I still need to make a lot of money. So I thought maybe I'd try to get into real estate.
Great, awesome. Well, I think Dan's your man.
Yeah, I mean, we operate we have an office in Danbury on Mill Plain Road. We have a lot of agents from New Fairfield that work kind of like the New Fairfield.
I work down in that area. I have like a big base of people from Westport area that is kind of interested into looking around. I have a lot of nurses that are interested in looking for houses, rentals and stuff.
Sure.
So I really kind of want to take the world by wing, plus try to keep my job presently.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I have a question for you, Louise. This is Ida. What testing facility did you use with this whole COVID thing? I've kind of had that at a standstill because I want to make sure that my family was okay, and myself, right? Health came first. So what testing facility were you able to use?
I had to wait a while. Our last classes were outside when our instructor noted that we can have X amount of people outside. She actually finished not the last class, but she did a good review, and we took our test later outside. And that was somewhere early part of June.
But have you taken the state licensing exam?
Yes, I have my papers. I need a broker's signature.
And where was that?
I had to wait a month for PSI to reopen in California. And then it went through pretty quickly from there. And I went ahead and I chose Milford as the testing site.
Yeah.
So Milford is open.
Yeah.
All of them, I think, are open.
Yeah.
It's hard to get them because there's tons of people waiting for a test. Milford was like the least one that people would choose, but it was closer for me to go to Milford than the other ones anyway.
Here's a little tip on that, guys. PSI can be difficult to deal with, especially now. So you need to follow up with them constantly. Truly be a pest. Call them, whatever you got to do, email them.
They won't even answer the phone.
Exactly.
They don't?
No, email them. If you email them, they will email you back that they would try to find your information in 5 days. And 5 days before they picked my cashed my check, I actually had the card to go ahead and register for the test.
Good.
Yeah, the other trick with PSI is also to overnight your paperwork.
Yes.
If you overnight your paperwork, so legally they're supposed to process your application within, I think, 4 days or 5 days.
Right. What they're saying now to our instructor is if you do pass the test, if you go online and you scan them and email all your paperwork, you might get it faster.
Okay, so they're allowing you to scan an email too now. That's
good. Another tip, guys. When you're communicating with them, however that is, let them know that you're flexible with test locations. Just had somebody who was going to go to Milford, but he couldn't get a date soon enough. And he said, where else can I go? And they offered up other locations. He went into Westchester and took the Connecticut test in Westchester. So they have other locations that you may be able to find a slot in.
That's good advice. Thank you, Louise.
Welcome.
So yeah, I have did you put your contact information in the chat box, Louise?
Yes, I did. I think I was like one of the first ones.
All right, so I'll reach out to you tomorrow and we can set up a time to talk. All right?
Sounds pretty good. The only problem I'm gonna have is Friday night, I got hit by a deer. So I'm not gonna have a car for like a week.
No worries. Well, we can
Zoom.
figure it out.
We
We
can chat
can,
later
yeah,
tomorrow.
sure.
Or it's online, it's fine.
All right. Thanks, Louise.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Any other questions? And we will be doing these drawings for the book and for Gary Keller's book and for Mega Camp. So we'll be reaching out to you.
Hi, this is Vivian. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yep.
You can. Hi, Vivian.
Oh, perfect. Hi, everyone. How are you?
Good.
Good, good, good. Part of my question was actually answered. I live in Danbury, and I took the Connecticut portion. I passed it, but I still have to take the general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I've been on hold, obviously, due to the pandemic and not being able to retake it because I was working crazy hours at the hospital. So I was delayed. So I have to do that part still.
Sure.
Yeah, and you should be able to register for that now.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
So you need to contact PSI or go onto their website. If you've already been approved to take the test, you should be able to just go onto their website and schedule it through the website.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Reach out to Dan, Vivian, and you guys should talk. And
I will.
Yeah.
I definitely do. I mean, I've heard a lot of great things about some other realtors that work for other agencies said that you guys have a good onboarding program for new agents.
Great.
I would
That's
agree
true.
with
Very true.
that. Awesome.
All right. Great.
Thanks, Vivian.
Thank you.
If I can ask Noelle another question, if she's still around.
Actually, no, she had to
She's
cut
not.
out. But if you could text her or email her if you have a question for her specifically, or ask us.
Yeah,
I can
we also
ask
have
you
other
guys, so
agents on the call still.
Oh, okay, good. I just figured since she was kind of following the path that I probably would take, doing this partial time and then transitioning eventually. That's why I thought of her. But my situation, I am blessed with a very nice job, pretty lucrative, package. And one of my concerns is always, I love real estate so much. It's so great. It's something that I have so much passion for. I mean, I go just on drives and all I can do is look at homes. So it's kind of an obsession for me. But how do you replace something like that? Like, how has she been able to replace that compensation that she used to have, and what it took to get her there?
Yeah, I mean, I have one-on-one conversations as does Dan about this. On a personal nature, want to understand what your lifestyle is, what your needs are, all of that, and what your comfort zone is. Like, what is that dollar amount that when you get to that point, you'd be like, okay, that can replace this job and these benefits, et cetera. And we set up a transition plan to get you to that point. But it's different for everybody, but it is completely doable. Because again, guys, the sky's the limit in real estate. I mean, it's not called the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book for nothing. That is very doable. Dan and I, we have millionaire real estate agents in our offices. And I say, if you follow this model and you, because literally it's a step-by-step guide how to net $1 million selling real estate. And you do that and you miss that goal and you made $500,000. I don't know, but I think that might be okay with you.
Yeah,
in the ballpark anyway.
Yeah. I think what it comes down to is that we figure out a plan for your goals and for you. Too many people get caught up in I want to sell 50 houses, or I want to sell 10 houses, or I'll have a lot of new agents say, listen, I just want to sell a house, right? Like, help me sell a house, and then I'll figure out like where I want to go, right? And I'll tell you that there are a lot of agents who get into this business and don't sell a house, and then they get out of the business, right? So, but what it comes down to, all right, most people, like a lot of people starting this business are starting where they're working full-time jobs already, right? Or part-time jobs already. So you do have limited hours, or you're raising a family and you have limited hours, whatever it is. The key to realize is that there's always a best way to spend your time. So whatever amount of time you have, we figure out like, okay, we want to match your expectations with your goals and with your reality, right? So if you come to me and you say, listen, I work full time, I'm raising my kids, I can do an hour a day. That's it. That's all I've got is an hour a day and 4 hours on Saturdays, right? Like, okay, like we can figure out a way for you to build a real estate business an hour a day.
Totally.
Now, are you going to build $1 million real estate business only working an hour a day? Sure. It might take you 20 years to do it, right? But it's not an impossibility even. It's just a matter of what are your expectations for how much time you want to put in and what are your expectations for what you're going to get out of it. And as long as we're very clear on both of those things, I'm pretty confident that Steve and I can help you put together a plan for pretty much anything, you know?
Totally. Ida, reach out to us. We'd love to sit down with you.
Absolutely.
Great. So not to hijack the call, but numbers talk to me. So are you guys going to discuss, you know, I know you discussed some of the initial costs, but you know, what percentages, the compensation portion,
Yeah.
what's owed to the house, you know,
It's very
that
simple.
kind of.
Yeah.
You want to
I mean, we're getting into the details on this call, but we can tell you, Dan alluded to it before, that, you know, Keller Williams has got a unique model and everything. And, you know, one thing that's very unique about us is our business model. And that what I'll say here on this call is that we have a capping financial model, which doesn't exist at other brokerages. After you sell a certain level of real estate, a certain level of production, you're capped, and then you're at 100% of everything you earn. Because you all talk about a split, right? In real estate, a commission split. You're at 100% until your next anniversary date. And what we do, everything we talked about, and so much more, is pointed to getting you to that level of production, so you can be at 100%. There's nothing we want more than for you make $20,000 selling a $900,000 house, and you bring home $20,000 to your family. That's our goal. It's a very unique business model, and if we meet one-on-one, we can get into the details of how that works. But trust me, I mean, there are times when Dan and I meet with experienced agents, and that when we get to the financial model, they're like, okay, where do I sign? Are you kidding me? That alone is the tipping point for them.
Yeah.
But money isn't everything, don't get me wrong. But it is very different at Keller Williams.
Says you, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think Dan, I heard a little about the financial model the first time I sat rounds with you guys.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's very democratic. There's nothing to hide, right? It's just everybody has the same opportunity, and that in itself is very different than most of our counterparts.
Right.
So yeah, again, it's very simple and it's very open and democratic. So yeah, but again, like we can kind of go. It's a little bit too. Like it's a little bit much to get into on a call like this with everybody, but all right.
Any other questions from anybody? And any question, it's all right. So if you want to reach out to any of us to have these one-on-ones, let's do it. Even before you've started your real estate classes, that's fine. If you have any questions about real estate school, what might be right for you, whatever, anything, just reach out to either of us.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you all.
Nice to meet you all.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.